This is for the haters, doubters, naysayers, and non-believers. The Pucks Out Here podcast.
Let's start it off here. How does Charlie Kirk own any Supreme? Probably not. Does Charlie Kirk own any Palace? Probably not. What are we doing? Swagless dweeb. Period. But no, man, I have to say I'm truly baffled at my country yet again, but more so than ever of the reaction that this has taken since this man has died, and the reaction that people have made for it. We're talking professional ball teams stopping games before games with the Jumbotron. Charlie Kirk on a fucking Jumbotron? Are you kidding me? These are corporations publicly saying, yo, we support this awful fucking racist piece of shit. You want to know my take on Charlie fucking Kirk? Fuck Charlie Kirk. This man spewed nothing but fucking hatred and fucking racism and fucking the one thing that the man said he wanted the Civil Rights Act. It was a bad thing. I look at people like that and I think, what do you think of handicapped people? What do you think this guy's take on handicapped people was? Was it out there? If it is, I don't even want to hear it. Okay, maybe I want to hear it, but you know it's fucking insanity. You know it is. And I'm just amazed that nobody has seen any videos or done any research, or if they have and still supporting it, it's fucking insane. People they're starting a civil war over this fucking dork. A civil war. Over this YouTube prove me wrong fucking dweeb, bro. This dude needed some black pussy. All these guys need to get him a piece of black pussy, bro. Period. All the Ben Shapiros and all these motherfuckers, they need some black ass in their life. Then maybe they will act a little fucking different. But, I mean, this dude, the one clip that I really saw that really fucked me up, right, was before even I saw any racist, crazy shit that he said, I saw in an argument, he said, if you're asking if my 10-year-old daughter that was raped would have a baby, would the birth go through? If you're asking that, the answer is yes. What kind of sick shit is that? What kind of sick ass Christian weird shit is that? But that's why he's supported. Because they act like some Christian, shout out to, I had somebody text me and say modern day situation of the MLK shooting. Do you know how fucking stupid you sound saying something like that? This man promoted nothing but hate. This is hate speech. Don't talk to me about no political shit. Don't talk to me about no free speech. You can't be on no free speech if it's hate speech, dog. The fuck? What is wrong with people? But everybody who is mourning this cat, I mean, I'm looking at guys like Tim Dillon, one of my favorite podcasters. I'm going, oh, he'll make a joke out of this. Absolutely not. Had some serious fuck on. They got serious. That they did all this, mumbo jumbo, oh man, we gotta do, or Chris D'Elia, another guy that I love, that Theo Vaughn, another guy I love. It's all like, man, like, fuck that, man. We not celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. But we definitely not celebrating it. Not celebrating it. And if you can't grasp why a motherfucker would be celebrating it, why a motherfucker wouldn't say, wow, we're one less racist fuck. We got one less racist fuck with clout and with a following. We got one less of them. Now, this will probably spark a madness of them. Okay? Yesterday, there was a guy with a sign that had some stupid fucking quote about God, and then underneath it, it was Charlie Kirk. It was a Charlie Kirk quote. This guy standing on the corner, okay, across from the Green, one of the legendary malls in Dayton, Ohio. Kanye West went there. Okay? And he's out there standing with the sign. You know, I was dying to roll the window down. Are you kidding me? What was that guy's story? What is the guy's story that loved Charlie Kirk so much that he was going to dedicate his afternoon on a Thursday at 2 o'clock to be on a high traffic corner just holding up a sign of a quote that Charlie Kirk said? What is that guy's story? Where is his family? Where is his friends? Where is his job? Where is his life? Where is his structure? What is his story to get there? Everybody that I know that fucks with Charlie Kirk is a fucking pussy. Literally. Literally. Anyone that follows that type of shit, when I think about them, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd smack the fuck out of that person. Are you fucking kidding me, man? And like I said, it's not political violence. It's not that. I don't even think it's that. Don't even give me that. This dude was just spewing hatred. Motherfuckers, fuck that. Now, maybe the reason he was killed, whatever. But the fact that he was, I'm not celebrating it, I guess. But I'm definitely not saying, you know, you get what you ask for. But the celebrations, or not the celebrations, but the people that are saying R.I.P. and the people that are honoring this man as he was some kind of martyr is some sick shit. And you're on a different agenda. And we know what agenda it is. You on a different time, and we know what it is. These are swagless. These Ben Shapiros, what's his name? These Andrew Tates, these Charlie Kirks, these people have no swag. They look like dorks. They act like dorks. They dress like dorks. They're into dorky shit. They got basic ass dorky fucking wives. Are you kidding me, man? Get the fuck out of here, man. Fuck Charlie Kirk, man. Let this get taken down, man. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. On God, I don't give a fuck. Spewing hatred, man. Fuck that shit. Because the next thing he said, kids should die over, over having that amendment, and it's like they break into the coverage of kids actually die. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Anyway, though, man. Hold up, I should not be on IG right now at all. Looking at Air Max 95. You know, I just dropped the Air Max 95 hoodie. It's been a great year for Air Max 95. But over the week, hey, man, welcome to the Pucks Out Here podcast, episode 10. You know how we're doing it. You know, it took a few weeks off. You know, I haven't perfected it. I love doing this, but I haven't perfected it. And that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. Went to Game Changer Wrestling over the weekend, man. Shout out to everybody over at Game Changer Wrestling. My homie Perch, we traveled out to Indianapolis to go see Royal at the Rumble. Oh, my God, I fucked this up so bad. Royal at the Rumble. River at the Rumble. Not that either. Rumble at the River. Goddamn. Okay. And what a great time that was, man. Shout out to everybody at GCW, man. This, always show me a lot of love. Always have such a, just kind of free based, free feeling vibe at their events, and it's probably the best independent promotion in the country, in my opinion, especially traveling the way they do and hitting the towns the way they do, all over the country, all over the world. I mean, they just got back from Japan. Game Changer Wrestling. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. It's a modern day ECW, to be quite frank with you. I mean, that's just how I feel. But I don't know if they would like that comparison. But these guys are, I mean, it's amazing. So we went there, and I had my homie Carlos film, and we had this set up, and I was like, "Yo, you want to come film? I want to do like a video where I ask people what their favorite music is, the wrestlers, like what their favorite rap. Mostly it was rap album was the thing, but then it changed when like I was talking to different people. It was more like what music in general are you listening to? What do you listen to before a match? Just music related questions. Because that's always been me, man. I'm always like just oddly obsessed with what people listen to. It's really weird. It's always been a thing of mine, but I've always been just oddly obsessed with like, man, what is this person listening to? What is their favorite rap album? I had therapy yesterday, and I was telling her this, and she's like, well, what is your favorite rap album? And I'm telling her, it's College Dropout, by, which we'll talk about, what the on this day segment is later. But, and I'm talking to her and I'm telling her, and, I'm asking her, I'm like, do you have a favorite rap album? And she's like, I do. It's actually the Black Album. And we were able to talk about just how much that album means to me, because that's a special one that came out at a special time, too. But anyway, so we had the homie Carlos come. Shout out to Carlos, man. One of the greatest, nicest fucking dudes you could ever meet. Really trying to help me out on a media tip. Just get the media podcast and, little interviews and shit right. And he had like this dope stabilizer that worked with the camera and with the phone. So we used that. And, there's a lot of self-consciousness in it. It's like breaking the ice, breaking the seal, as Carlos said. But it's like, me, I'm so self-conscious anyway, and I'm going through therapy right now, but I do have these just self-conscious in me of when I'm out in public, everybody's staring at me, everybody's looking at me, everybody's saying, who's this fat fuck in the wheelchair? Why is he in the wheelchair? You know what I mean? Just is he in the way? Just really negative, bad thoughts. Sorry, don't mean to be fucking negative on here, but that's just what it is. We'll keep it real. So I'm having these thoughts on top of like wanting to interview like some dope wrestlers and shit. So it was an interesting, battle that I was having, an inner battle that I was having. And I would go, we'd start to go and I'd be like, should we ask him? Nope, 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 all right. Nope, should we go? Nope, nope, nope. And then you got like guys like Matt Cardona, who's over there, and that he's bitching at people for take $40 pictures with him. And he's like, I'm here for free. So that just intimidates the fuck out of you as well. Like, you're like, yo, what am I about to do? Like, I don't even know. So I don't know what got into me, but I just saw it. I saw the homie Gringo Loco, and I saw him, and I just was like, you know what? And that's like one of the scariest dudes on the roster, really, Gringo Loco. He'd be coming out with the spike pads, you know what I'm saying? I'm too sexy, you know what I mean? I should have asked him a Drake question now that I think about it, but I said, dude, what's your favorite like pump up song before you go into the ring? And I don't know what first of all, it got really weird because I said, yo, could I ask you a question like on camera? And he went, yeah, what is it? And I instantly went to like, does this guy think I'm like on some political shit? Probably, He probably thinks like, oh, he's about to ask me, like, do you support Charlie Kirk? Like, what are you going to ask you some weird shit? So, but it's definitely, like, you don't want to, like, just bum rush people, I guess. So it is, like, cool to, I guess, tell them, like, yo, I'm about to ask you a question on camera. So I'm like, yo, what do you feel, like, what's your favorite? I said, I just want to ask you a music question. He's like, yeah, sure, okay. And I was stumbling a little bit. You could feel the stumble. You could feel what's up, homie? You could feel the uncomfortableness a little bit, but we got the question off, and it was the first one. We broke the seal, and that's what mattered. And he said Eminem, 8 Mile, Lose Yourself, which, I don't know, maybe he was just kind of being on some generic shit. It felt like a little PR move. Felt like a little generic answer. Felt like a PR take, gringo. I know good goddamn and well you are not in that locker room bumping. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy before you come out to that ring. I know you lying. And then we got to do Billy Starks, who was probably the biggest name on the card. Well, Megan Bam. I don't know. I don't know. But to me, Billy Starks is probably the biggest name on the card, other than I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. To me, and she's super. Just I've seen her come up for the past 3 to 4 years, and she's a young talent. I think she's only 22, 21. Like she's really young. But she's just killer in the ring, and I love her vibe, and I love her look, and just everything she has going on. So I felt like she would be very personal, and it was cool to ask her, like, "Hey, what are you listening to right now in general?" Because I didn't want to hit her with a rap question. It's like she didn't really strike me as like a huge rap head, right? But I still wanted to know, like, man, what has she got bumping? You know what I mean? So she told me some people that I wasn't hip to. Told me Blink 182, which is her walkout song, which is incredible and amazing anyway. Yeah, she made it to where I felt like, oh shit, this is cool. Like she was really just engaged in it, and that was really cool. So I I just really felt like once I got that Billy interview off, it was like, okay, cool. Now I can get some real shit off. Now I can really like get in my bag. You know what I'm saying? In my interview bag and ask these motherfuckers favorite album, favorite this, favorite that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So but we ended up doing who else do we? I mean, we did the homie Ron Bass. We did Jay Rose. I wanted to get Janela. I wanted to get Otis. A lot of these guys I'm scared to death of. But like I said, that self conscious thing will eat you the fuck alive. And it was a lot about just breaking out of that. It was a lot about breaking out of that, and my whole shit is about breaking out of that for real. And I feel like the dubs really help get that in. You know what I mean? Like it really does get you know confidence. That's what I'm lacking. I'd say just the confidence. I was in the therapy. I told her, I said, dude, I'm just lacking the confidence. I'm just lacking the confidence. I'm fearing the rejection. I'm just absolutely, living on that edge of life right now. And it's not the greatest. It'll stop you. It'll fucking stop you from doing what the fuck you want to do. The fact that we're, even it has nothing to do. And I never even look at, when I look at my disability completely mental, man, completely on a mental tip. You know, like obviously we have muscular dystrophy, but lack of, uh, my lack of, just non being able to handle anything and lack of confidence and all that, whatever. I'm just rambling right now, but it's just self confidence shit. And then it's like the brand, like you have so much self confidence in that because it's like you try to get dubs with that, and you keep that natural and you keep that how you do. But one day you could sell 52 tees, which is not a lot. People get 10,000 orders to drop, whatever. But for little old me, 52 tees, if you sell 52 fucking tees, on a drop. That's a big deal to me. But then you could come back and sell two or sell three. And, like literally, the game is like that, or at least it is for me and my brand. And, that I'm not saying that that's always like that. We're trying to, maneuver and figure it out in different ways. But yeah, man, like, or like, for example, but I have, confidence issues in the brand, For example, I was fucking at goddamn Cleveland this past week, or not this past week, but in at the clip show, and the homie was like, "Yo, this is the homie Puck, off the rope," and he went, "Oh, West Side Gun shit, bro." I'm just like, God damn, man. That should be discouraging the fuck out of me, dude. Because I'm just like, I don't want to hear about, just having the same name in rope and then fourth rope being a thing. And then I have some homies in fourth rope. And even though we are completely of a different thing, fourth rope is our wrestling promotion. Basically, it has its own merch, it has its own, whatever, but it's a wrestling promotion. Off the rope is just a lifestyle wrestling brand that represents, it's coming from my fan standpoint. That's it, though. That's absolutely it. And but people are but it's still hip hop, and it still has so much crossover. There's still so much crossover between West Side Gun, Fourth Rope, and Off the Rope. Off the Rope, I've been around since 2016. I don't know nothing about West Side Gun. All I do is try to separate myself from West Side Gun. No hate to West Side Gun. I got love for West Side Gun. What he does is respectful. I got homies over there that wrestle for him that I love dearly. Shout out to Josh Bishop, Blinkers. But I personally, because of the rope thing, I'm so paranoid that maybe people think because I'm on the smaller tip that I copied this thing and I, took his swag and I'm trying to run with it on a like bootlegish level. And it's like, dude, that's just not it at all, man. That is just not it. But that's this weird paranoid West Side Gun thing that I have in my head, right? It's like fucking weird. It's fucking weird. But shout out to West Side Gun, man. You know what? You know who I want. What you know who I want to get it popping with West Side Gun? Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs. I want Freddie Gibbs and West Side Gun to finally get it cracking because they really have like, West Side Gun has Freddie Gibbs has his issue with Benny the Butcher, and there's little shots with West Side Gun. He said them motherfuckers like wrestling. I don't wrestle, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Which I love that. And you know whose side I'm taking because Freddie Gibbs rocked Off the Rope. Come on, man, get the fuck out of here. But we here, man. Off the Rope is what it is, man. But it's the Pucks Out Here podcast, man. Episode 10. I appreciate everybody being here, tuning back in. Even though we take a couple weeks off, I appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from Dayton, Ohio. It's the Pucks Out Here podcast.
Shout out to the homies over at Purple Wax, man. They sent me a huge pack. My homie Under Pressure, I don't even know his real name. I just know his IG name. But you're from Texas, I may not need to know the real name. But this is incredible pack. This is a skate wax company, but they obviously do stickers and different things like that. But this is actually wax inside of here, and you need to hit the board slide, whatever. It's just a little sketch. You just dump this out and it's there. But it's wrapped up like a purple cup. Like, can we see this on camera? It's wrapped up like a purple cup. And it's a double cup like Texas shit. You know what I'm saying? Because Texas is lean, cultured out. So I just want to shout out to Purple Wax and say thank you so much. This really means a fucking lot to me, man. When anyone thinks that I'm dope enough to send me anything, that means a lot. That means a lot. So Texas to Ohio all day long. You know what time it is with that. And I appreciate it. So check out the homies at Purple Wax. They are great dudes, and I appreciate that pack for sure. Texas to Ohio shit, man. And they sent me some cassettes too. I'm really excited to hear some of the music on it because this pack is from Austin, not from Houston. So I'm interested to the difference of culture. Purple Ocean City, Texas. Dr. Mud, incredible. It's like a RX pack. Unbelievable. With the sticker packs, but unbelievable. Shout out to the homies over at Purple Wax. Keep doing your thing, man. Great shit, man. But on this day, man, this is a good one. I was looking at things that have came out in the past decade or whatever, and different video games and albums and things like that, and how we've done it in the past, with NBA Street, and we did, what else did we do? A Joel Santana album, or we did LeBron James, all different kinds of shit. But today I want to talk about 17 years of Kanye West Graduation, the album. To me, this is peak Kanye era, not My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Graduation was peak Kanye era, man. He was culturally just lit at this time. This was when he was on this space odyssey, like, you know what I mean, looking like cartoon vibe, right? Where, you know, he was rocking ice cream heavy and he was rocking Bape hoodies heavy and zipping them up. This motherfucker had G-Shocks in 2007. He was rocking a G-Shock. Like, what are we talking about, dog? Ahead. So far ahead, you people are behind. Behind. You know, but yeah, like he was rocking the G-Shock. Then not only that, but he had Pastel, his own brand. And you know, the way he was doing that and the way he was flipping that and you know, wearing that, and we all were like, yo, when is this coming out? When is this coming out? And you know, he's messing with, you know, Takashi Murakami with album covers and you know, all this type of thing. And then he goes on the Glow in the Dark tour after the Graduation album. And it's like, and that fits conceptually so perfect with the album. And the cover of the album. And this was the first guy that, you know, I ever saw perform, you know, I don't even know, dog. When I went to see Glow in the Dark tour, that was insane. And it, you know, it had Lupe Fiasco and NERD. Rihanna was opening up. Insane. I've already talked about this. But this album was so important, man. He went up against 50. I remember the media and the label was making this thing about 50 versus Kanye releasing the same day. Let's be real. Everybody knew Kanye was going to fuck 50 up at this shit. 50's run was over. Kanye was on scorching fire at this time. 50 did have I Get Money, but the run was done. It was completely Kanye era. One thing I want to mention is the glasses. Brought the fucking the shade glasses to the culture. Now I'm not saying that ended up being a great thing, but it's an amazing thing because at the time they were so fly. He had them on tour as a tour accessory. Motherfucker put the bear in it. Put the bear in them shades. Takashi Murakami. Sorry, man. I'm getting gunk in mine. I try to have gunk up in it. Shout out to Gunk, Philly. What up, buddy? But the run was over for Fifth. This was straight Kanye era, man. But he was so user friendly at this time too. I mean, he was turning up, but he was still not as bad as he was, and as bad as we will see him get mentally over time. Right? He was still known as the crazy guy, known as the guy who did the George Bush shit, but had not done the Taylor Swift shit yet. Which I think the Taylor Swift shit really turned him into like this other demon in, you know, the media's eyes and his eyes. I feel like he kind of turned himself. But this is peak Ye. This is cool dressed Ye with Bape, with ice cream, with Pastel. He has the picture. I remember, you know, the picture with the pastel jacket, the raw denim jeans, the Cause Bape hat, and the Aqua 8s. Legendary. But, you know, and then you go to the album. You go to that actual album, and it's like, you know, it's start to finish. I think the only awful song is Drunken Hot Girls. And because I thought it was awful for so long, it ended up actually being dope. So there really is no skips. I love Anthony Fantana. You want to talk about a 10 out of 10 album that is, you know, the Clips. If you're going to give a Clips a 10 out of 10 album, Graduation, 10 out of 10. No skips. No skips. You start off with a record like Good Morning. Motherfuckers don't have intros like Good Morning, which is what he's starting off the tour song with, Good Morning. Then you go straight to Champions, banger, whatever, like what a sample, what a motivational record, what a record that makes me want to go, stand up, here he comes. Come on, man, stop. Stronger, one of the greatest singles ever, where he's mixing Daft Punk and he's chopping up a Daft Punk sample. It's peak yay because it's like he's chopping up techno samples and making them, rap songs. Incredible. Pop rap songs. I Wonder. You know how many times I've cried to I Wonder? Stop, man. Good Life. T-Pain. Classic. Can't Tell Me Nothing. Classic. Stop. We don't even need to go into it. I mean, literally, Drunken Hot Girls was the only skip, but now, 17 years later, it's a peak album, bro. Peak Kanye, peak album. But that's it for today, man. It's the Pucks Out Here podcast. Man, look, subscribe, fucking talk some shit in the comments, man. Give me some hate, give me some love. We got to move this motherfucker, man. But guests on the way, cool shit on the way. Appreciate everything. If you've tuned into this shit, you know what I'm saying? So bear with me. I want to show the good. I want to show the bad. I want to show all the things that I am, So I'm not, I don't want to show it, but we're just gonna pod through it. We're just podding through anything that I'm going through because I don't know if I thought, I've always told somebody, I said, I had this pop-off mentality, right? Especially when you come off, when you grow up wanting to be this artist for so long. You want to be this rap artist. You think, oh, I'm going to have that pop-off day where I sign $1 million deal and da-da-da-da-da, right? And you have that mentality. You go through life thinking that. And you think that in your other endeavors, and it's just a bad thing to get, a bad way to even go about anything. And I just think, that mindset sets me back a lot. And I don't try to have that mindset. I try to fight that mindset because it's such an unnatural place. But, yeah, man, I don't even know what I was saying there. But it's the Pucks Out Here podcast. What I was saying was, man, we'll show it all, man. We show it all. But it's the Pucks Out Here podcast.
Broadcasting live.
Turn my headphones off.
From Dayton, Ohio. Well, technically, Moraine.
What I stand for speaks for itself.
It's the Puck Outta Here